So I'm recording this. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you have been doing well, enjoying the beautiful weather when you're able to get out. Sorry if I stop talking, I'm admitting people into the video as they come in. So last week we wrapped up chapter 21 and you guys finished that mutual funds project and submitted that through Blackboard for grading. And it counted as your attendance for last Thursday's class. And we did not have a live class last Thursday. To make things easier on you guys, and we'll try to just do like one live class a week, probably on Tuesdays for the most part. So we will not have a live class on Thursday. Today will be the only live class that we have. But during our normal class time on Thursday, if you're working on assignments or anything, feel free to reach out to me, text, email, Microsoft Teams, whatever, and I'm there for you to answer questions as you're working on the assignment for Thursday. So today we are starting chapter 16, which is how to read, analyze, and interpret financial statements. As I said in the introduction video, a lot of this is going to be familiar to you if you've already had ACC 120. If you haven't had it, or you're in it now, don't worry. It'll be just like the depreciation and the inventory chapters. We go over everything in depth. So for class today, you should have completed the Smart Book by yesterday evening. And then today you need to watch the lecture videos for chapter 16. There are 3 videos. 1, the balance sheet. 2, the income statement, and then 3 is trend and ratio analysis. So watch those videos and make sure to complete this attendance assignment down here by 11:59 p.m. tonight in order to be counted as present for class today. This is my sign-in sheet, so just attending the live videos is not enough. You have to complete this attendance assignment. So if we go to chapter 16, you'll see the different assignments. The Smart Book was due, the homework and the test. And the Excel assignment will show up in graded assignments on Thursday because that's your attendance assignment for Thursday. So it will open, let me go back. So for Thursday's class, you will have completed the discussion board, which is open now. Watch the introduction video below, and that introduction video walks you through this Excel assignment that you're going to be working on Thursday. And the link will show up under graded assignments on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. and you have until 11:59 p.m. to submit that Excel assignment through Blackboard. So watch this video. Let me know if you have any questions, but for Thursday, you'll be performing a vertical and a horizontal analysis of a balance sheet and calculating some ratios based on that balance sheet. So make sure you're getting that done for Thursday as well. I have gone in and opened up all the assignments. So we're on 16 now. Sorry. We are on chapter 16 now. Chapter 14, all the assignments are open. And if you notice, chapter 14 does not have a test listed. And that is because chapter 14's test is combined with chapter 15. So chapter 15 is completely open except for this test. This test is not going to be open now for you to work on. It'll open up soon. I can't remember the exact date, but you can go ahead and work on the Smart Book, the homeworks, the discussion boards, for everything for chapters 14, 15, and chapter 12. Chapter 12 is another chapter that we are combining, so there is no test for chapter 12. Chapter 12's test will be combined with chapter 13's test. And I'll open up chapter 13 for you guys to work on starting next week. Do keep in mind that if you are working ahead, I don't have the lecture videos posted for anything past 16 yet. I am working on the lecture videos for the last 4 chapters, but they are not up yet. Once I load them, I will let you guys know so you can use those if you choose to work ahead. The discussion boards are all open now. 16 and then 14 is your last discussion board. There is not going to be a discussion board for 15, 12, or 13. So once we get through chapter 14's discussion board, we will be done with those. Yay. So this chapter, like I said, discusses the balance sheet. It explains the purpose and the items on a balance sheet, and then has you complete a vertical and horizontal analysis. Then it explains the income statement, the purpose and key items on it, and then has you complete a vertical and horizontal analysis. And then at the end of the chapter, on page 430, there's a table. It's table 16.1, and it has a listing of 7 ratios that you need to be able to calculate. So make sure you're looking at those and understanding those ratios. So here's some quick little additional problems I want to work through just to kind of review this chapter. So for the first one, it says that Race Company, you have been requested to calculate net sales, cost of goods sold, gross profit, and net income given the following information. Gross sales of $40,000, sales returns of $3,000. You have beginning inventory of $6,000, net purchases of $8,000, and ending inventory of $1,000, and then operating expenses of $9,200. So the first thing it asks us to calculate is net sales. Net sales is equal to gross sales minus sales, returns, allowances, and what's the other one? Discounts. Sorry. So our gross sales are listed at $40,000, and we were told that we have sales returns of $3,000. So therefore, our gross sales are $37,000. 2 ask us to calculate, or B ask us to calculate cost of goods sold. Well, you guys should be able to be pros at calculating this because we already calculated cost of goods sold when we did the inventory chapter. Remember, it's beginning inventory plus net purchases minus ending inventory. So what was our beginning inventory? $6,000. We have net purchases of $8,000 and ending inventory of $1,000. So our cost of goods sold, $13,000. 6 plus 8 minus 1,000. C wants us to calculate gross profit. Gross profit is net sales minus cost of goods sold. So what was our net sales? $37,000. And the cost of goods sold we just calculated of $13,000. We have $24,000 as our gross profit. Then lastly, it has us calculating the net income. Net income is gross profit minus operating expenses. So what was the gross profit we calculated? $24,000, and we're told operating expenses are $9,200. So we have a net income of $14,800. Make sure that you can manipulate these. If you're given your net income and you're given operating expenses, make sure you can back into gross profit. Or if you're told your net sales and your gross profit, make sure you can calculate your cost of goods sold. As long as we know two of the numbers, then we can calculate the third. So make sure that you can manipulate each of these to solve for the missing number. Any questions on the first one? Okay. That's my head come in. But all right. 2 says the total debt to total assets of rig company was 0.33. The total of their assets was $205,000. What is the amount of total debt to rig company? So I've already typed in for you the debt to asset ratio as shown in table 16.1. It's total liabilities divided by total assets. So if we know that the ratio is 0.33 and that equals total liabilities divided by total assets. We don't know total liabilities, that's what we're trying to solve for. So we need to solve for X. So we need to multiply both sides times 205. So 205 times 0.33 equals X. So that means that we must have debt equal to $67,650. Again, we're manipulating it, so make sure that you can solve for the unknown in a ratio when you're given two parts of it. I'm changing these X's to stars so that you're not confused. 3 is the same kind of question. Asset turnover of Jones Company is 7.1. Total assets are 68,000. What will Jones's net sales? So asset turnover equals net sales divided by total assets. Well, we're told the asset turnover is 7.1. We're trying to solve for net sales, and total assets is $68,000. So multiply both sides by 68,000. 68,000 times 7.1 equals X. So X must equal 482,800. Questions on either one of those two as to how I solved for it? I'm looking at the table 16.1 to get my calculation for the ratios and then solving for my unknown. Lastly, the last part of the chapter talks about trend analysis. It says Jim Smith received a memo requesting he complete a trend analysis of the following information using 2014 as the base year. It's important that we look and analyze and determine what they're requesting the base year to be, because that is what we're going to use for all of our calculations. The base year is not always the latest year. The base in this one, that would be 2011. And this one, they want the base year to be the newest year, and we're looking back at data to analyze the trends. So I've highlighted 2014 in red, and I've copied a table down here to put in the percentages. And with trend analysis, you round to the nearest whole percent. So for all of these, we know that 2014 is going to be 100%. It's the base. It's the full amount. So I've already completed 2013 for us. The sales in 2013 were 720,000. Our base is 800,000. So the year we're looking at divided by the base gives us 0.9. So we have 90% as our percent for 2013 for sales. For gross profit, we're going to look at 340 compared to 500. 340 divided by 500 is 68%. Then the net income. The net income in 2013 was $380,000. In 2014, it was only $300,000. So in just looking at that, you should know right off the bat that you're going to get something over 100% because your amount here is larger than your base. So 380 divided by 300 is 1.226. When we convert that to a decimal, to a percent, it will be 126.6%. But it wants us to round to the nearest whole number, so 127%. So if we look at 2012 had $680,000 in sales compared to the base year amount of $800,000. When you divide those out, you get 0.85. So converting that decimal to a percent is 85%. Gross profit in 2012 is $240,000 divided by the gross profit base of $500,000. You get 0.48, 48%. Net income. Net income is $440,000 compared to our base of $300,000. Again, this one, the amount is larger than our base, so we expect it to be over 1.47. So it would be 147%. And really, all of these keep putting underlines, and they shouldn't because they don't add up. You have to calculate each one separately. 90% plus 68% doesn't equal 127. You have to calculate every single number. Sales in 2011 were $660,000 compared to the base of $100,000. So that is 0.83, 83%. Gross profit is $180,000 to the $500,000, 0.36, 36%. Then net income, $480,000 to the $300,000. You see again, this year's amount was larger than the base amount, so we would have over 100%. Make sure when you're calculating these that you're using the base year and the proper line. So sales to sales each year, gross profit to gross profit each year, net income to net income each year. So that is the trend analysis. And you'll get some work on the actual vertical and horizontal analysis in the Excel assignment as well as the homework assignments for this chapter. And let's see your discussion board. I want you to go online and look up the financial statement of a company that interests you to see how well it is doing financially. Use ratio analysis based on the concepts presented in the chapter in your summary. So make sure that you are finding a company that has financial statements public. And when you're doing this analysis, let's see, there's 7 ratios. I need you to do at least 3 of the ones in the book and give me the numbers. Show me the calculation. Don't just tell me their current ratio is 0.66. Tell me how you got the 0.66. Tell me what the current assets are. Tell me what the current liabilities are. Tell me how you calculated it. Give me some detail on that. So, anybody have any questions related to chapter 16? If you've already had 120, like I said, chapter 12 is vertical and horizontal analysis, and some instructors covered chapter 12, depending on when you took the class. So you may already know how to do this. Questions? You can type in chat if you want to. Well, don't forget, registration is open now for summer and fall classes. So make sure that you're getting registered for those, emailing your advisors with questions that you have. And yeah. And oh, one more thing. Let's see. I'll stop my sharing for just a moment so I can pull up my email. We had an accounting club meeting today, and you all are members of the accounting club. But we had a meeting today, and we had a really awesome guest speaker come in. Let me get this sharing again. So we had a guest speaker today. Her name was Holly Atkins. She is an internal audit manager at KPMG, which is one of the big 4 accounting firms. And she talked about uncovering fraud cases in the Triangle area and answered a lot of questions, and that was really awesome. I recorded the session, and I will be posting that video in Microsoft Teams to the Virtual Accounting Club team. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. So the Virtual Accounting Club team right here. I'll be posting it to the presentation line right here. So once that video is up, oh, looks like it might already be up. Right here, great video. I highly encourage you to watch that. It's very interesting. And we're also having another meeting next Tuesday at 12 o'clock. So right before this class, Jonathan Kraftchick from Cherry Beckert will be presenting a topic on data analytics, AI, and other technology, what the hype is in relation to accounting. He's a really great speaker, so I encourage you to come out and check that out as well, especially if you've got an interest in data analytics. And he'll be there and answering some questions as well. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.